This is another test with my DJI Mini 3. I start the drone camera near the community boating at the Charles River. The AI of the camera does a pretty good job in avoiding people, trees and obstacles. Now we are getting close to the Hatch Memorial Shell, used for concerts, like also the 4th of July celebrations. And to the right is the Charles River. The drone has no problems to avoid low hanging branches, and we will just very soon enter the Charles River Esplanades. So there's a nice crossing there, a pedestrian bridge. So to the left we see the cannon, a US Army cannon, and we enter now the Charles River Esplanades. I like that part of the run very much. You see here also some kind of tougher tree avoidance and also people avoiding. And to the right we are coming then soon. So here is kind of a very low hanging branch and a person. So we see to the right then the Fiddler Deck. It's named after Arthur Fiedler, a local American conductor at the Boston Symphony, and to the left there is also a statue of him. So the Esplanades is a nice place to run, to relax, to read and walk. I ran this probably 1,000 times. It's one of my favorite runs, from Harvard going through the Science Museum and then coming back on the Boston side. Of course 20 years ago or 22 years ago I was much faster, but it's still kind of I feel in a good shape, and this is a very nice place also to push it a little bit. Having the camera following me automatically is just amazing. So here we are. If the Charles is to the right, there is some beer garden to the left. The camera nicely avoids the people, and it's not many have seen a camera following people. You see the person to the right. She's actually quite astounded by seeing the camera following me. And probably this will be pretty standard soon to have cameras following you. When younger I would probably run the next stretch as fast as I could. So 20 years ago I could run the round trip to the museum and back, which is about 9 miles, with less than 6 minutes per kilometer average. Now of course I have to push it hard, much harder to get the 6:30 average, and I feel actually more comfortable with a 7 minute per k average. So here we are. We have to see the Charles to the right, and they are just boating. So it's just a boat capsizing. They are located. They are based on the MIT sailing. And so we soon get to another obstacle problem with quite a low branches and also people. So I hope I will not ruin the photo shot here. So here we avoid a branch and the person, we fly over the person. And so this is a very nice place. So we see already we see already to the right the MIT and the Mass Ave. Mass Ave is here, bridge, the MIT bridge. I did not go below the tree. I tested this before in other places, and it would have had difficulty here to get through so low. So but here already that's challenging. You see the branches here, and it has to kind of avoid the branches. It's actually pretty safe and the avoiding system is quite reliable. Pretty confident with this. Also here, no problem to even with this kind of relatively thin branches. So the Charles River Esplanade is part of the Charles River Reservation State Park. It benefited from contributions of Helen Storrow, and Storrow Drive is named after her husband, later husband James Storrow, who had been an investment banker. So we very soon will actually reach this. We go over the Charles again, and we'll reach the kind of see the Storrow Drive. Don't know why it made such a big turn here, the camera, but it actually kind of still works. So it has to go under. So here there's a little bit of a tricky situation. See Storrow Drive here, so we are pretty close to that freeway. Now we have crossed another bridge over the Charles, and we are to the right comes the Gloucester Street dock on the Esplanade. It's also a place where people usually sit or relax near the river. And to the left is the Dudley White bike path, just parallel to the Storrow Drive, where all the cars are passing. We see already the Mass Ave Bridge leading to MIT quite close. I will stop recording there, as I have recorded that part already in an earlier video. I had hoped to film more in Boston, but I had been geofenced out, so kind of where I started here was just essentially the boundary of the geofence. I think you need a permission to get to film with a drone, even if it's very low. So I would try to get a permission at some point. So here we are close to the bridge which leads to MIT. And I will stop then recording there. So now we are very close to Storrow Drive. To the left, I had been once, came here with a truck, and had, of course, this is a low clearance here, so I was lucky to be escorted out by police here. So in order not to have my truck destroyed. So this is the end of that part. I have here another footage which I had taken before. I had actually tried to go, this is the North Point Park, which was renovated a few years ago. To the right is the Science Museum. I had hoped to be able to run over the Paul Revere Park, over to the Paul Revere Park, or even to the Boston Harbor, which I often run. And so there is now kind of a nice connection also. But I was geofenced out pretty soon. This part of the river is actually just the geofence. We will just see very soon to the right. I cannot pass through, and the drone will stop and not refuse to continue. Well, that makes sense. We are actually kind of getting closer to the airport. So here it stops. It just doesn't want to go over that bridge, and I had to stop here.